We'll get a better sense now because we're going to go to Istanbul, where we have Yilmaz Akinci live on the phone with us. You're live near Taksim Square, where we are hearing reports that there has been gunfire between police and the military. What have you been seeing and hearing? What can you tell us?
Actually, it's just last 20 minutes. We are not hearing any gunfire. But before that, especially like after midnight, 12 o'clock, between 12 to like 4 o'clock, almost like 4 hours, we were hearing clashes and like several places and some bomb blasts. But right now we're not hearing like any more, let's say, like gunfire. But just 20 minutes ago, there was very like F-16s were flying and they were very low flight, and we were like pretty scared that like they might kind of like drop bomb, but God save, there is no such things happen as we see from here. And general, if you look to Istanbul, I mean, situation is very chaotic. I can say that. Like, you know, we have a lot of sources giving a lot of information, but none of the sources are reliable. We cannot kind of like approve. Like, there are several places in Istanbul, in Vatan Caddesi, for instance, one of the main streets, where the police center located in Istanbul. But we are like, one of the important things, like just like 20 minutes ago, one group of military entered in the CNN Turkish CNN center and shut down the channel. Channel is not broadcasting anymore. And as you said before, Mike, President Erdogan just landed to the Atatürk airport. And at the airport, there was like a few thousand people waiting for him. And as you know, like in Turkey, there is really important situation. Army is a little bit like more, let's say, left-wing and Kemalist people. And AK Party is, as you know, like more Islamic background and all those things. And recently, during the government position, AK Party has kind of supported police officers, and they have really special units, really heavily armed. And our army, of course, also, they are heavily armed. I'm really scared to see like very serious conflict will take place in Turkey. But from both sides, when we are seeing the like, you know, the talks and press release and all those things, basically from government side, from institutions like presidential press officers, Turkish intelligence service officers, some army generals, they were talking. They're just saying the situation is under control now. There's 3 people that they start to kind of like the military coup. It was attempt and it's failure now. We will control soon and all these things. But we are hearing some news. For instance, in Ankara, there was 4 bomb blasts in Turkish parliament, and 1 Skorsky helicopter down by F-16. Such informations are really like making really panic situation in here, unfortunately. And till morning, I don't know what will happen exactly, but I would say that, like, you know, 1980s, 1960s, Turkey has seen a lot of military coup. But this is the very interesting. First of all, there was a huge reaction against this military coup, and it's also really not well prepared as you consider the other ones as well. I mean, for instance, in 1980, they were just like went to the parliament and they detained all the ministers, parliament members, and the prime minister and all these things. But in here, as we've seen, like prime minister, all the ministers are on the Turkish national television. They just keep talking about like we are on our duty. We are continue to, you know, like fight for democracy, and will remain here. And mainly, like, the situation is really like unclear now from Istanbul. What I can say, I mean, time to time, and sometimes we are hearing like gunfire, but mostly like the gunfire are really get a low level. We can say if we consider last 4 hours.
Yilmaz, let me ask you this question: when did it first become apparent to you that there were problems? I mean, talk to me about a citizen living there in Turkey. When did people start to realize there was a coup attempt underway, and what was that like?
I mean, like the general, first of all, like, you know, if you ask the general view of why people like have such demand to have military coup, I mean, this AK Party government during that, you know, like 14 years of governance period, I mean, they made a lot of kind of like, they hurt a lot of people in the society, I can say that. And this kind of like started to kind of have different groups are started to be created. I mean, such as this Fethullah Gülen's group, which is like President Erdogan blaming them. They were supposed to be ally before, but after that they kind of like start to be enemy. And Turkish government and Turkish judicial system, they start to kind of like clear them or clean them in Turkish army, police, and all this department where they located. So everything is like very, happened very fast, let's say. Also, if you look at tonight, first things happening at 10 o'clock tonight. They just blocked the bridge on Istanbul, like one of the main bridge which connect two continents. I called my police sources, actually. I'm a journalist. And the first thing that there was a terrorist attack might be happening on the bridge, and that's why the army took that control. And just like half an hour later, we start to hear clashes in general staff in Ankara. And then we start to hear Prime Minister saying there is an attempt of military coup. And all these things are really happening so fast. And information, as I mentioned, mostly coming from the governmental side. And as I understood, from the 5 different region district generals, they declared they're not supporting this military coup. That's why, it seems it will end, but I don't know what kind of a casualty we will have until morning. For instance, 17 police officers killed in Gölbaşı tonight. It's been confirmed by Turkish state agency. And then, there was 2 more in the satellite area they killed, and so far we know over 20 people died. And unclear numbers, for instance, the military, they fired to people in front of General Staff. There was some demonstration, and people tried to walk to General Staff building, and they were just gunfired people who were trying to come through their side. We know there was more than 12 people injured, and there was no kind of condition to send ambulances over there. And we heard that there's also some people that lost their lives. So far, as I mentioned, there's a chaotic situation going on now in Istanbul and all Turkey, let's say, but mainly 2 cities, Ankara and Istanbul. As you know, if you control these 2 cities, that means you control in all Turkey.
Yilmaz,
these 2 cities are chaotic. Yeah.
Yilmaz, one final question before we let you go. What do you expect to see when daylight comes out? Obviously you'll be going outside. What do you expect to see?
20 years of journalism, this business. I can say that, this military coup attempts will be fatal for sure, it seems like it. But I'm just, worried about the casualty, how many people will lose their lives. Because the main, general, generals, they were just, saying we are against this coup. And Turkish intelligence service, they were just saying that. And now we are seeing that President Erdogan is at the airport. He gets out from his car now. He's walking inside the crowd. And it's just right now, it's happening at Atatürk Airport. That means, this will be failure, but in the daylight we will see that we'll be bad news about the casualties. We will learn the numbers.
Yilmaz, thank you so much for joining us by phone and also providing the breaking news that Erdogan has arrived. We appreciate that.